Okay, this video is about how to use your gun by basically picking up the shotgun the first time, and you collect the gun, and then you shoot it. You shoot all your ammo, and it's completely out, and your gun goes away, and your knife comes out. And basically, when you're out of ammo, you pretty much try to right-click on your mouse, which is going to retrieve your gun. But if you don't have ammo, it's not going to retrieve it. You're going to keep your knife. And so when you collect the ammo, then you're able to right-click on the mouse and retrieve your gun that you pretty much have stored in your inventory. Now this is not, it's kind of like an inventory, but it's not. So I show you how to do that, as well as when he comes close toward a barrel, your gun will switch to a knife again, and then you can right click to get it back if you have any ammo, of course. And also how to do a message where when you collect your shotgun for the first time, a message will pop up saying how to use your gun. It'll say something about how to right click on your mouse in order to retrieve your gun if you have ammo. If you don't, then your gun won't show up until you gain your ammo. So let me show you what I'm talking about, and then I will explain how I did this. Alright, so for right now, you have your knife. Up in the right corner, you have a yellow square, which is going to represent your, when you collect your card to open up a door, which I talked about in my previous video, and a green square that's going to represent your gun when you collect it. And you need an image that represents your gun up there, so that way you can retrieve your gun when you do get your ammo. So there's only one shotgun in this game. You collect it, which already has ammo. Tells you a message. Right click to use your shotgun if you have ammo. Alright, right now I'm clicking on the left mouse button to swing my knife. If I press the right mouse button, I've got my gun. Now, if I had not collected that shotgun and I press the right mouse button, I would not get my gun because I never collected it. But now that I collected it, I can press the right button on the mouse, and you're able to shoot. You also, if you wanted to, you could change your right click on your mouse to a button on your keyboard, but I felt like it's more convenient for your mouse to switch from your, I found that it's more convenient to switch your knife to your gun using your mouse than versus using the keyboard, because you have to look down at your keyboard to try to hunt for the button to switch from knife to gun. So it's better just to use your mouse to do that. So then when he runs out of ammo, he goes back to knife. When I right click, I cannot retrieve my gun even though I have it in my inventory, because I don't have any ammo. So once I collect ammo, I will be able to reuse the gun again. My previous video, you had to keep collecting a gun in order to use your ammo if you ran out. But in this scenario, you don't have to do that. You already have your gun, so you're equipped already. You just have to find ammo shells in order to use your gun again. So I end up getting killed because I'm using my knife. I'm too close. If I use my gun, then I could shot from a distance and I wouldn't have got hurt. And here is the door. I can't go in there. It requires a card. It shows up there that I need a card. And get hurt again. It flashes at the top. Now I collected my card. Now I can open the door. And now I collect the ammo, and now I have 50. Now I right click and I got the gun. And I can shoot. And once I run out again, then I will have the knife. Or if I get too close to the barrel, it will switch to the knife. See, switch the knife. So that's pretty good good way of, you know, retrieving your knife again if you wanted to. But then you can get hurt, of course. But if you press the right button on your mouse, you get the gun again. Because I still have ammo. Once I run out, then I right click and I cannot gain my gun again because I have no ammo. And then, of course, you can go back to the door that needs a key and it will open. And it plays some sound when it opens. Alright, so this is how I'll talk about the message thing for a second. So in my main room, you gotta put all this in here. The box outline for the card that you collect, the box outline of the gun, and then you have a box outline of your message. So you gotta have two of these message boxes. The first one is it's pretty much a placeholder, so no message, it's just a placeholder, it's a box, and this is going to determine where the message is going to go on your screen. So I use a step and draw event, and this is the coordinates for your X and Y view for where I want the box where the message is going to go at on your screen. So I have it at 200 for X, Y is at 200, so it's kind of like it's in the middle of the screen in a way. Same thing is drawn, has the same coordinates, X view 200, Y view 200. And I don't have it visible, but I can make it visible and it will show up on your screen, so it will show you where it's going to be located at when you collect the ammo. See, that's the yellow box there is going to determine where the message is going to go when you collect the ammo, and you need that placeholder in there in order for the message to pop up. Just like I talked about before in my previous videos about placeholders. I do have a placeholder around my character right now when I first start, which is in red, and that's dealing with the key when you open the door. When you collect the key, the red placeholder turns into a green placeholder, which the green placeholder bumps up against the door that's locked and it opens it up because I have the green, not the red. So it's kind of like that. The placeholder of the message box follows the character to where the location of where you collect the item at, which is the gun, which is the blue box down there. So once you collect, so basically what happens is, and I have that at the depth at minus 1000, so it's above everything else. So basically when he hits the object gun box, which is the gun itself, it's going to do this. I'm going to create an instance. So go to main 1 tab, put a create instance in there, and it says that it's going to switch, well, you keep it itself, and basically it's going to change that it's going to change that message box, which is not visible, to visible object message box. So it's going to change that not visible message box to object message box, and it's going to place that in the same coordinates, 200 by 200. So you don't need an X and Y coordinate here. I don't know, you could probably do this where you may not need the object node message box as a placeholder if you're using a created instance, because you could probably put in the 200 here and 200 here. Let me see what happens when I do that. You may only have to do one object here. If I put coordinates at X and Y and I get rid of this placeholder message box, I wonder what happens. I wonder if it will do it, since I said create an instance and not using the switch icon for that. Okay, so in this scenario, that still pops up because it switches back. Because on my object message box, I have a alarm setting here where after 100 seconds, it's going to turn to alarm 0, and it's going to switch my message box to the no message box. But you could probably, in theory, just go to the main one tab there and drag in a delete, destroy, so it won't. So you probably could get away with not having that object message box in there. No object message box. You could just have a create instance. So when you go to the gun, pops up, and then it destroys itself. So you could just do that. So save your step. You don't need this the object no message box placeholder. You don't need that in there. You could save some space by not having this in here. So I wasn't aware of that. So basically, you don't need this object no message box up there. You don't need that in here. So I could potentially just delete this out completely and delete it from my sprints. Save some space, because like I said, when you go in here and collect it, pops up. You don't have to have that message box if you don't want to. You could put it in your options at the beginning of the game. If someone goes into your options screen, and you can talk about how to use, when you collect the weapon, you can press the right click button and then you will get your gun. But sometimes people may not go to the options screen and read that information, so you may want to put it in your game. So you could do that too. So like I said, when you create an instance, I didn't have to have a placeholder for that. And potentially you could probably do it for your character too. When I talked about placeholders, may only needed the green placeholder versus having both in there, but in that scenario you may need both. But anyways, okay, so I've talked about the message information. So like I said, after 100 seconds, I'm thinking I say 100 seconds, that way you have enough time to read it before it gets destroyed. Probably could go longer if you wanted to. Probably could put 200 in there probably, and it would be there longer and on screen to read it, and it would be destroyed. The step and draw event, you do need that in there for your object message box. So, well, you probably don't. Probably don't need that in there either, because you already put in your object instance. So let me just do this one more time, and then we'll move on. Yeah, so you don't need that. Alright, so I learned something new there too. So in your object message box, all you need is to put your alarm setting in there. Go to create event, get your crate, and then put your timer in there from the main 2 tab, and have it destroy the message after reading it. And like I said, when you collect it, when you run into the shotgun on the ground, it's going to create an instance. It's going to show the object message box. X is at 200, Y is at 200, so it's right in the middle of the screen pretty much. And that's all you need. Alright, so now moving on to the next step. The next step is object have gun. So 500, 200. So basically what's happening here is it's going to create object has gun at the X and Y coordinates. So that green square becomes, that empty green square becomes the gun. So it becomes this icon right here. So when you first start the game, you have this icon, which is a green outline square. The coordinates are at the 500 and 150 on the X and Y. Same thing is drawn on here. Coordinates at 500, Y is at 150. And then once you collect the gun, it creates the instance, and in this situation it would create an instance, so it would pretty much redraw the object has gun on top of the green outline. So in a way I'm kind of doing double images here too. If you wanted to, you didn't I didn't really have to have this outline shown at the beginning. I could have named that invisible. Then when you collect it, it shows the outline of the gun. But just leave it in the game for right now. So basically, it's just throwing an image on top of the other image you have, pretty much. So when you collect the gun, it's going to show an image of your weapon. And you need the image of your weapon to show up on screen. That way you're able to right click on your mouse and retrieve your gun. So it's basically saying when you collect the gun, your hand becomes your gun. So the hand with the knife becomes your gun. You switch to the gun because the gun allows you to have at least 10 shots, and you have to have some kind of ammo in the shotgun when you pick it up. Otherwise, if you just pick up the shotgun with no ammo, then your counter would say -1 or -0, and you don't want that. So you want to have some kind of ammo in your shotgun when you pick it up. And then when you're basically when you right click on your mouse so basically what it's saying is test the score out. So grab that from the score tab. So if you're out, if your ammo equals 0, then it's going to switch to the hand. That's what it's saying. So it's going to switch your object gun to your hand. And then when you right, this basically means that when you right click, when it's at 0 on your ammo, then you cannot retrieve your gun. You will stay with your object hand, which is your knife. So this basically guarantees when you have 0 ammo that it's going to jump to your hand, and then when you right click, it's not going to retrieve your gun because you have 0 ammo. So that's pretty much what it's stating. Then when you collect your ammo, let's see, trying to figure out the next step. I think it's with the gun options. So even in this scenario here, every time you press a button, you're going to lose 1 gun shot, and then when it equals 0, it's going to jump back to the hand, of course. And I believe that's it. I think this guarantees when you collect it, gain 50. Okay, let me show you one more thing real quick. So when you come up against the barrel, the object player it'll switch your gun to your hand. So if you have the gun in your possessions and you come too close, if you bump up against the barrel, it will switch your gun to the object hands. But then you're still able to retrieve your gun if you have ammo by right clicking. And I feel like there's something missing here that I didn't talk about yet that guarantees that if you don't have your ammo, you cannot retrieve your weapon. And like I said, I think it's stated right here, once you're basically testing your score. If you have the gun icon and you have no ammo, then it's going to switch from your object gun to your hands. And if you right click, of course, it's not going to give you your gun, because you don't have the ammo. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's something that I'm not telling you guys that I haven't talked about, but I think I covered everything here. Alright, well, and this just reinforces it right here. When you have the gun, when you have your value is at 0 and it's equal to, it goes to your hand object, and I want to take out this real quick. I'm going to see what happens when I take that out. So if I get the gun, yeah, so you're able to see how it goes to -1, -2, so you need that other additional information I deleted just a minute ago. So what I did was I deleted this information right here, this else statement, and these two items here, so to just test my theory out. So you do need these 3 items in here for it to work with your icon of your gun. Because like I showed you just a minute ago, when I deleted all this information out, and when I had my icon of my gun, and when I right clicked, he was still able to retrieve his gun and shoot, but then your 1 or 0 count of ammo turned into -1, -2, -3. So you need these 3 icons in here for your icon of your gun for it to work correctly when you collect your shotgun. So like I said, when you have your shot, no, I went back to the main. I have to change this to 50 here so you can see the full screen here. So you need, like I said, right click. You can't get a gun because you haven't collected it yet. Collect it, right click, you have the gun, you shoot, and it works great. When I right click, see, it goes back to the weapon, of course. When I left click, it goes to the knife and uses it. When I right click, it doesn't go back to the gun like I did before when I deleted those 3 icons in the shotgun image. But once I collect the ammo, then he will be able to use his gun again because he's already collected the shotgun, which is kind of acting like your inventory. So when you collect the ammo, now you can use your gun. Yep. And your gun icon will never go away because you've already collected it. And what you may have to do, which I will talk about later on, is that since you've collected your gun in the first stage, to move on to the second stage, you may have to make this gun icon, make that persistent. You want to click that as persistent. That way, it's pretty much telling the computer that you already have collected the gun from the first level, and it will carry on to the next level of the game. If you don't click that persistent button, then you will not have the gun on the next level. And because in your room, you only have you start out with your knife, and you don't want to have your gun in there as well because you haven't collected it. You only have your knife image, and you have to collect the gun in order to move to the next level with your gun. And if you haven't collected the gun, then you're not going to move to the next level with the gun. Okay. So you got to make sure to make this persistent, and you probably also got to make your gun object persistent. Well, that's persistent already, but you also have to make your object gun image persistent too. That way you're able to switch back to the gun when you gain your ammo, because if you don't have that gun icon in there, then it's not going to switch your knife to your gun again. So this kind of acts like your inventory system for your gun to come back into view once you collect your ammo. So I hope that makes sense. Like I said, without this gun icon showing up on your screen when you collect the shotgun, then there's no way for when you right click on the mouse to retrieve your gun after you collect ammo. You would have to keep collecting the the weapon itself in order to reuse the gun, and that's not what you want to do in the game. You want to just collect it one time, and then when you run out of your ammo, then you want to just collect ammo and retrieve your gun, because you've already collected it the first time, so why collect it again? So that's why you need that gun icon in here. It's kind of like a placeholder in a way. Once you collect the shotgun the first time, then you have it throughout the game. You don't have to collect the shotgun again. And if you do collect a different weapon, a different shotgun or whatever, then you would have an option to switch from the original shotgun to a more powerful weapon by pressing a button on your keyboard or something in order to switch your normal shotgun to a more powerful shotgun. And that's how you would probably pretty much do it, is make another image for your more powerful shotgun, so you can switch from your basic model to your super model. Alright, thanks for watching.